Going on, everybody? Welcome to the third episode of Cutting the Red Tape. I know typically I'll be dressed in different attire right now, but been on the run, been on the move, trying to get some things done. So regardless, hey, we'll jump right into it and we'll get it squared away. Before we do that, hey, please do me a favor, guys. Please making sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing to this video. We are really looking for another funding source to be able to help us support veterans. So by you subscribing, if we can get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, I know it doesn't seem like it now, we're a ways away, but you know, every subscriber helps, every subscriber counts, and it helps us to get to that goal, and it'll help us get to another funding source so we can go ahead and assist veterans with another funding source out there. So please support veterans and service members, man, hit the subscribe button. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. So basically this week's episode kind of hits home. It hits hard. It hits hard every time I think about it and every time I have to assist in these situations. And we're talking about mental health, right? We're talking about suicide prevention, talking about 22 suicides a day. 22 suicides a day. Think about that. I'm actually getting some reports that actual number may be higher. So when I can assist in these situations, when I can try and help in these situations, I try to do my best to just try to find an avenue where Veterans 5 to 9 can assist. You know, obviously we're not a crisis line, we're not PD, we can't go into active situations, but there may be some things, some red tape, some things that we can cut through that helps that veteran progress, move through whatever space that they're in and just continue to move forward. So that's what we try to do in these situations. So the first situation was the veteran, and it probably took him, probably took us about 2 weeks or so to get a hold of each other. I called him a couple times. From what I understand from talking to a counselor and a buddy of his, is he was very closed off, just kind of, you know, inside the house, inside the building, not really wanting to talk to anybody, not really wanting to I guess, progress, move forward, just because of the trauma and the things that he has dealt with in his life. And I remember that time back when I was getting out back in 2008. Back then it was a lot of uncertainty. You're getting out, you're going into civilian workforce. You really don't know what that entails. You know, you just spent 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you know, being told who, what, where, when, why, what to do, when to do it. And now you're getting out and you have to do it on your own. And back for us, when we were getting out, the market had just crashed. The state was, the United States was in a state of chaos. So it was kind of crazy when we got out. So I remember these calls, having my, talking with my buddies and, just saying like, dang man, nobody's hiring me. I'm going to be homeless. I don't know what I'm going to do. Should I enlist back in the Marine Corps? There was a lot of fear and doubt out there. So when I talked to this particular veteran, it seemed like a lot of those fears and things like that. So I was really able to connect with them, which I'm glad. And that's maybe a part of it. That's part of cutting through the red tape, right? And again, I'm not a clinician or anything like that, but when you can understand what a veteran has gone through, veterans' needs, and just kind of connect with them on a different level, it helps them open up more. It helps them open up a lot more. So I was able to connect with this veteran and basically started getting some groundwork in. So it seemed like he was willing and able to move forward after I got done talking to him. It seemed like, when you let air out of a balloon, like he was just like, somebody understands me. Somebody understands what I'm going through. Somebody understands maybe some ways or some needs to try to get me through this, which it's not just us, it's a group of organizations in there, and, everybody's doing their piece, everybody's doing their part to help this veteran move forward, because again, we don't want veterans to commit suicide. We don't want any of that. So I'm glad I was able to connect with them. And for us personally, I think we're going to be able to hopefully get them to a healthy spot financially. Hopefully we can get him to a space to where he can, tolerate working around, a certain amount of people. Maybe if it's not, actually in a building, maybe it's through Zoom or something like that. So there's some avenues out there. As I told you guys, I don't ever want to be told, no, just tell me what we can do to fix it, get there, to mend it, give me some options. So that's what I gave this veteran, and we're going to try to continue to work through it. So he doesn't have those fears, he doesn't have those doubts, and he doesn't definitely go down the suicide route. So that was a good one again. Like I said, that hit home. The next one that we had throughout the week was one of the calls. That's a severe one. You know, when you get a call late at night, hey Marcus, I got a veteran. He's been drinking. He's saying he's gonna kill himself. He's saying he's suicidal. Man, that's, you know, it's like, whoa, you know, that's not something that Veterans Fighter 9 is equipped to handle. You know, we're not going into a situation where somebody's got guns or knives or they want to hurt themselves, X, Y, Z. That's something that we are not equipped for. So my best advice was, you know, hey, you know, call the PD, let them know the threatening text messages that he's been sending to you guys, and maybe they can do some type of force committal or get him into at least a mental health facility to where you guys can work from there to help further his care. And it turns out that was a good option. It did work. Shout out to the officers who were able to go out there, help him out, you know, got him to a mental health facility, and, you know, hopefully he's getting the care that he needs. Now on the back end, obviously we can jump in and assist if he's willing. As I'll tell you guys, right, if he's willing, you know, we can lead a horse to water, but they have to be able to drink, right? I can show you the door, but you got to walk through it. So we'll try to jump in and help him out, whether it be financially, maybe look for a job, maybe looking for a different mental health program, something that fits him, with some people that I know in the space, and we'll go from there. Because again, the last thing we want is for that veteran to commit a suicide. You know, 22 a day, probably now 23 a day is way, way too high. So again, I've been running ragged. I've been trying to do a lot for these veterans out here. So and just cut through that red tape, and just, you know, there's a lot of people out there like me, a lot of people out there like-minded. So individuals that I'm working with, our organization's working with, you know, we're just, you know, trying to cut through that and just give people the best options, the best resources that we possibly can, that we absolutely possibly can. So I get this was a bit of a short episode, but again, when we talk about mental health, it's very, very serious. It's not one answer fits every single person. Every person has their own journey. Every person is unique. Every person is, you know, where they are in life. And sometimes it takes individuals a little bit longer. Sometimes individuals are a little bit faster. Just depends on what's going on in your life. There's a lot of veterans out there who have dealt with a lot of trauma. You know, my unit alone has had several suicides, and it is very unfortunate. You know, I call our unit the unit of hard knocks, man, because we were there. So people are where they are. All we can do is jump in and try to assist, and hopefully they accept the resources. So hopefully you guys can understand where we're coming from. Hopefully, if you know a veteran that's going through that situation, that you guys are that ear, that you guys are trying to reach out, talk to them, doing a buddy check. You guys currently in the military, you guys currently getting out, staying up with your buddies, checking on them, making sure that they're good to go. Because I will tell you, when we got out, as I just said, it was a hard time. It was a hard time, and we were all calling each other, checking on each other, just because, man, that's all we had at the time. So, hey, man, continue to do that. Do what you guys can. Again, Veterans Fighter 9, we are here. Food, lodging, transportation, resources for mental health, substance abuse. And again, if you support veterans and service members, man, hit the subscribe button.